We had joy, we had fun, we had Barbara in the sun, but this week it's Pocono, so round and round we'll go. Hello everyone, welcome. It's the British Sim Racers Touring Car Pro Series, sponsored by Engine Oil Direct. I'm Andrew Woodhouse, alongside Alex Simpson, and Alex, a racetrack shaped like a triangle this week, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Pizza lovers out there will enjoy this for sure. Awesome oval track actually, very challenging. First time ever we've seen an oval in the BRSTC, I believe, and actually I'm really excited to see how this one pans out.
Yeah, we should have a lot of slipstream in action. We should have a lot of overtaking here. Don't really know what to expect, I tell you, but we do have a grid of nearly 40 cars set to take the checkered flag, the green flag, in just a few moments' time. Wojciech Savidovic leads the championship by 182 points over former champions Jamie Rushworth and Andreas Katz. Delian Chepelevsky in fourth, David Baker in fifth, then Lee Thompson, John Roberts, Simon Field, Ellis Stevens and Alexander Smolensky rounding out the top 10. Alex, it's been a great start for Savidovic, and you know he's on the front row here today. It should be a pretty good one for him.
Well, I mean, as we know with the ovals, anything can happen, but yeah, you're right, an absolutely fantastic start by him, clocking up the points nicely, and then as far as the sort of the chase at the end of the series goes, then he's picking up those podiums as well very, very regularly, so getting a lot of points banked up, ready for that final showdown, and he's looking very, very strong. One driver who is looking strong, actually, who really strong all week, Jamie Rushworth, actually. He's been so quick, and seems to have that Kia Optima absolutely dialed in for this oval track here.
Yeah, he is indeed the only man who's got under 1 minute, actually, in that qualifying session. Go to the ES Trophy standings, and John Roberts impressively leads that by 103 points. That's for the best AM driver over Paul Smith. Tim Mawson is third, Matt Walker fourth, and then Steve Burke in fifth for that one. Going to the team standings, and so far it's been a very good season for three teams in particular. Engine Oil Direct, who are nearly 500 points ahead of Volatile Element, and then GT Omega Racing just behind them in third. And then finally, the standings for the actual showdown, so the 10 drivers who are at the moment in place to go into that end of season shootout with extra points: Wojciech Savidovic, Andreas Katz, Jamie Rushworth, Ellis Stevens, Delian Chepelevsky, Lee Thompson, Simon Field, Alex Smolensky, Dave Baker, and John Roberts. Alex, we have a long way to go before that showdown, of course, and Ben Palmer as well is in there as a wild card at the moment. Consistency must still be on everybody's mind. It must still be the aim.
Yeah, exactly that. You know, those drivers, there's drivers out there that not had the best of starts to the season. Sebastian Job comes to mind. He's also in as a wild card, I think, if you look a bit further down, due to the most amount of wins that he's got, or the amount of wins that he's got. So he needs to keep doing that right now, and hope that he can improve his points and get up into that top 10. It's been a bit of a shaky season, and there are other drivers in very, very similar position to where Sebastian is right now as well. So those guys all need to try and get some consistent finishes and break themselves into that top 10. It's going to be, like I say, it's a long, long old season to keep consistently banging in sort of top 10, top 5 results.
It's going to be a difficult one for all the drivers involved as well today. We've got 3 races of 20 laps. Alex, some drivers have confessed on the chat in the server that they've never ever taken part in an oval race on iRacing before, including Andreas Katz, Alex, the reigning champion.
Well, yeah, that's just going to be all the more interesting, I have to say. It's a different dynamic out there for sure, and it's all about timing it. We saw in qualifying there was some caginess going on with qualifying and people trying to jostle for position, things like that. It seems to me the most important factor out there right now is the draft, so it's very, very unlikely that anybody's going to break away. That is, if they're massively fighting further behind, then it is possible.
Looking at the track in qualifying, Alex, and seeing some of the drivers' onboard cameras, doesn't look like it looks like a very difficult track to drive, doesn't it? The drivers really are on the edge trying to get the most out of this, and will tyre wear will surely be quite a big factor.
Yeah, I think when I was looking at the practice session earlier on in the week, there was quite a few guys out there circulating, doing sort of slightly longer runs just to make sure that they got the temperatures evened out and hot pressure evened out in the car, so that it would just run for a while. But you're right, I think weather looks pretty hot out there right now. We're looking for cooler conditions a bit later on, so I think that will help certainly the long run. So this first race here is all going to be about conserving those right hand side tyres and just make sure you don't burn up the fronts, otherwise you're just not going to get in or get out of the corners at all well.
Yeah, of course, for anyone new to this series, the Kia Optima car used for this championship, front wheel drive, so it's all about serving those two tyres in particular. Now the pace car is at the front of the grid, Alex, and just about ready for a pace lap. It's quite a long one here, isn't it? So the drivers will have a lot of time to think and maybe overthink the start. Who knows?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we could well see anything really, though. I mean, the first lap's going to be pretty critical. I think if we're going to have a bit of a caution riddled race, I think we'll know by the end of the first lap. It depends how hard people are out there racing. If they're all a bit patient, want to settle in, definitely a lot of opportunities to overtake in this round, then we could be in for an absolute thriller.
Yeah, and looking down from the iRacing blimp at the moment, down onto the grid and all the fans in the grandstands, and Pocono really is a terrific track. It is a 4-kilometre oval. Well, it is a triangle, really, isn't it? But take us through the turns, Alex. You've had a lot of experience on this track. What do all the different turns bring? As people who are new to oval racing don't always realise that the corners have their own character.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, turn one is very banked, extremely bumpy as well. So you want kind of a late apex into that. It's quite tight on the way out of the corner, so that'll catch a few people out. Turn two, a little bit of banking in there, a lot faster, much shallower angle for the corner. Again, drivers will be trying to take that as quickly as possible. I dare say we'll see a lot of people run up into the wall in turn two, can catch you very, very quickly. Turn three is very, very flat, but very long as well, and that'll all be about getting the line right on entry so you can get out of the corner carrying as much speed as possible. Very, very wide exit as well, so opportunities definitely for, say, too wide around that corner. Also turn one. Turn two, I don't think we'll see too much too wide action, just too risky.
Yeah, and in that last corner there's a new piece of tarmac as well, which some of the drivers might use. Maybe not in this car though. It's all about momentum with the Kia as well. You've got to keep that, got to keep it rolling on. And we have 39 cars, I think, taking the start. Alex, Robert Fagg at the back of the grid, not had a good qualifying, or at least maybe not even set a time on purpose. Who knows? Maybe to stay somewhere towards the back of the field. Who's your money on then, mate? Considering some of these drivers, it's their first foray.
Wow, it's hard to tell. I have to say, I really wouldn't know. I mean, I don't think you can look much past Jamie for perhaps at least one victory tonight. Svidovic has been super consistent throughout, but who knows what might happen here. So yeah, I'm going to go for Jamie for one, and the rest I'll leave open.
Here comes the pace car, and it's green here at Pocono in the BRSTC Pro Series, first ever time on an oval circuit. Look at that's Paul Smith, isn't it, up the inside? But it's Ashley Blake Hood, isn't it, for Volatile Element? He's going up the inside of Svidovic. Rushworth it manages to make it into turn one first, and look at Sebastian Job on the outside line as they funnel out of turn one. Couple of cars very close to the wall.
Yeah, always this first lap's been good so far. Everybody's given lots of room. Svidovic making a move onto Rushworth in turn two.
We're three wide as well in the middle.
I said we wouldn't.
Three wide into the tunnel turn. Sorry, nearly a bit of contact. Got away with it.
Yeah, and there was me thinking we weren't going to see too much too wide action, but drivers risking everything already, just getting it through there on that first lap.
Yeah, and it's going to be quite hectic in there. Some oval newcomers as well, maybe not as much used to the tactics and the action. Oh, hard crash Massive crash into the wall, halfway down the main straight there. It was a Power Max car rolling over and over. And I think it was a single car crash, Alex. Might have been a couple, sorry, in fact. There's a Janowski was involved. I think it was Laura Bond who hit the wall really hard.
Yeah, it looks like Janowski, maybe Robert Fagg as well. Just having a little look on board now. So Laura just on the inside of Janowski. Gets a little bit out of shape, actually. Coming off of 4, sends Janowski into the wall. Laura's out as well, and somebody else just struggling. I think it was GTO Mega Car. Someone's into the pits as well.
Laser Tools car into the wall, and he's took Simon Field with him as well. I think that's Robert Graham rolling over, and there's another Laser Tools car at the back. It looks like he's also rolled over in turn 2. That was Colin Steele. You're going to have a little look back at that, Alex.
Yeah, we're still with the replay, actually, so we'll just see, we'll see what's going to go on with Field here.
I think Chepelevsky just nudged into Simon Field, and that caused a chain reaction.
Something went off ahead, actually. Yeah, they were a little bit sideways, and that's where they got out of shape. Probably not the best camera angle, but Fields managed to survive. But yeah, one of the Laser Tool cars there, you can just see flipping away. But it looked like he got himself out of shape, and that's what really caused it, actually. As we see, I'm not sure who that was behind Field, but I think that was one of the Carnage cars there, getting all out of shape again, and Fields had to pit as well. Right, let's get back live with the action.
I'm not surprised he's had to pit. There's quite a lot of damage on the front of that Peter Newman media car as Jamie Rushworth continues to lead and looking reasonably comfortable, Alex. I don't know if Savidovic is just biding his time a bit, but you know that Sebastian Job isn't probably going to bide any time at all.
Yeah, I don't know really what the driver's going to do at this point. I mean, I think they're well aware that, you know, there's no point in making any kind of rash moves early on. Just you're just not going to break the draft, really. Everybody's pretty good up this front of this field, so yeah, I say that.
Oh, 3 wide and maybe 4 with the back marker. Round the outside goes Blake Hood. He might get a good run off there, Alex, using the high side.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one thing, you know, for the drivers that haven't competed in the ovals.
Got boxed in by Savidovic.
Yeah, he will get a lot of speed coming out of that corner, and definitely, like you say, if he hadn't been boxed in there, he would have had an opportunity to get around the outside. As it is, he has to get out of it, settle for 3rd place, but he did take Sebastian there, so good, a good move there from Blake Hood.
You think that there might be a little issue with the dirty air with the front-wheel drive car?
I don't think there'll be too much dirty air. Savidovic defending very aggressively. Not sure he needed to do that, but
a little.
Yeah, he's not going to get that place, and we've got Andreas Katz as well now. Just
the oval move.
There
big one.
There goes your.
Savidovic saved it. He has.
Yes.
And you know what? He's not going to lose. He's only going to lose 2 or 3 places, I think.
Sebastian's into the pits though. He's down. He's out.
Did he hit the wall? I think he did.
Yeah, he smashed the wall. Let's have a quick look at the a replay of that. It's
Chepelevsky and the 72 of Steve Hefford getting very close. Chepelevsky going backwards. He was 6th on the grid.
Yeah, poor Sebastian. It was. Yeah, well.
Actually, he's not going back.
He did nothing wrong there whatsoever. It was all about Savidovic, and actually, if Savidovic hadn't hit Sebastian, then it would have been Savidovic out of that race right there.
Yep, I mean that's how the cookie crumbles on the oval. We know this, and it's happened to us many times, mate. And unfortunate, isn't it? But sometimes you get saved by other people's mistakes, and sometimes you don't.
Yep, absolutely. Cat's having a little look at Blake Hood now as well. They're going to be 3 wide. Blake Hood maybe got a run on Rushworth. They are indeed going to be 3 wide into turn 1.
Oh, these crazy touring car drivers not letting up on this
triangle.
triangle.
Out of it, actually. I tell you what, Jamie's car is very fast in straight line. I think if Hood had an opportunity to get past there, he would have taken it. He's got a good run out again, but I'm not sure he's going to get that move done.
Jamie's got great traction as well, which is a killer combo on a track like Pocono. But Blake Hood actually side by side with him now. Maybe he got a bit of the side draft. Can Rushworth keep it round the outside in the tunnel turn? And aptly named, of course, there is a tunnel under that somewhere. Andreas Katz down the inside into turn 3. We are 3 wide, but this is where that new piece of tarmac, Alex, for Rushworth. Look at that, he can just bring it right down to the apex of the corner.
Yeah, carried so much more speed there. Katz, there was just nothing that he could really do.
That's one thing that Andreas Katz is going to have to learn. Is look at that.
Blake could have getting
bit of bump drafting action
bumping Jamie down there. Doesn't want, of course, Katz to get the inside line.
The reason, Alex, why bump drafting works for people who, like I say, have never seen an oval race before, is because it effectively turns your car into one car, doesn't it? So there's no gap in the airflow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just flow straight across the front bonnet. So that extra power effectively you can use for pushing rather than getting rid of the the drag that's normally hits the car on the front nose there.
Fourth place, minding his own business, Steve Hefford. Hefford's put a few good qualifying laps in the last couple of seasons, but he's not really done that well in the races. But looks like he's he's in no man's land a bit. But to be honest, it's not a bad place to be on a track like this sometimes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, he's far enough away from anyone behind. They're not going to make too much of a move, and he's close enough at the front that
Blake Hood's going for the lead. I heard somebody crashing into something. I don't know what that was, but Katz up the inside as well. But he's going to struggle, isn't he, to maintain that low line, Alex?
That's the thing. He's never going to get the speed off of the corner there, and Hood and Rushworth are definitely going to have the momentum coming out of that corner. Mawson round the outside as well. Is that for 5th and 6th place? Yeah, side by side with
P5.
Chepalevsky at the moment. They're just drag racing each other down the straight at the moment, exchanging position. Chepalevsky's got the line through too. Tim's going to hold it round the outside. Blinking car, never what you want to see when you're going through.
Sorry, mate, that caused Savinovic to take a void in action, didn't it? And he's now up the inside of Chepalevsky. Chepalevsky appears right in front of Mawson, and that could be disaster. He disappeared and then just materialised right in front of Tim.
Yeah, I think they were all lucky to survive that. That could have been race over for about 7 or 8 cars there.
Yeah, and Baker's there.
And actually, I think Stellion at some point is going to have to get to the back of this pack. Yeah.
He's hit Newman, and he will be at the back of the pack in a minute if he's not careful. And that's Baker that has to avoid that. And round the outside is Ben Palmer for Engine Oil Direct. They've got Robert Graham, who's a lap down at the back of this train. There's a second pack, Alex, there for 12th, 13th, 14th and back. Lee Berridge is ahead of Stefan Hoog. Dan Hunt and coming to blows with Steve Burke there.
Yeah, just didn't quite catch it on screen, but yeah, you can see this is.
Now we're going 3 wide.
Yeah, I was about to say it looks pretty tasty. Just.
That's the end of Roberts. That's the end of John Roberts, the AM leader, Alex, the ES Trophy leader.
Yeah, not good at all. And,
that wasn't his fault whatsoever either.
Let's just have a little look at that back on replay, see what it was that happened there, because I think there's going to be a lot of that actually. Just
tell you what, there's going to be some stewards' inquiries coming out of this.
Definitely minding his own business. Actually, Blake Hood, by the way, has taken Jamie for the lead. But yeah, it was just in the middle there, 3 wide. Got a little shove going into into 3 there, and yeah, just sent him flipping one of the Engine Oil's direct cars out.
Interestingly, Alex, Steve Hefford's now caught this pack, and he made that look easy, didn't he? It didn't take him long. And I wonder if that's why that Blake Hood and Rushworth are bump drafting. Maybe they realise that they have to try and put some distance between themselves and the Oculus 360 cars.
Yeah, to be fair, I think this is just all this fight in 3 wide that they've been doing into turn 1. Cat's trying to get in there. That's actually slowing them up massively. They can't quite get the right line, and yeah, Hefford's just doing his thing and picked up the draft, and now he's having a little bit of fun out there as well.
Looks very quick though, Steve, and look at the lap times that they've been doing. Blake Hood, he's been in the 1 minute 0.8s, 1 minute 0.7s. Hefford's been doing 0.6s, 0.5s and 0.4s. That was just on his own, no slipstream. So, but can he get past? That's the thing. Sometimes you catch someone on an oval, Alex, and you fall into their rhythm, and you fall into, you just conserve a little bit of energy.
Yeah, indeed. Svidovic starting to put a little bit of pressure on Tim Mawson. I'm going to jump back up to the front as we once again go 3 wide. Yeah,
He's determined to make that stick, isn't he, somewhere? But it might be that his car just works well on the bottom, and it does look like it is, to be fair.
Yeah, just not quite carrying them out of speed off the corner, but that's what you'd expect from that line. But using the draft well.
I don't know, he's got a shot now.
I was about to say, that Oculus car is very good. Oh, yeah, Hefford uses his head there and stays behind Jamie. There was no point in making that 4 wide. I thought for a minute we were going to see that.
Oh, and it looked like Blake Hood was getting a tiny bit loose there, but I think he's alright. Katz did get in front there momentarily, but look now, Hefford is going to lose out to his teammate. It's not so bad in turn 3 for Katz. That is the line through 3, but in turn 1, the low line, Alex, has never really been very profitable, has it?
No, not at all. I think, yeah, if you're going to go for that low line or to try and get underneath, Hefford has to get out of that very quickly there. Yeah, you need to be pushing. You need to be pushing the driver ahead of you further up the track. So he's taking a really high line, and you're just trying to be on the normal line if you can.
What Katz needs to do, mate, if he's going to make that inside line work, he needs to squeeze the other two further up the racetrack. Like you said, he needs to be in the middle of the track. He needs to be, you see those lines coming down the first straight, he needs to be sort of in that third lane, doesn't he? And he's more over to like the fourth lane. He's giving nearly 2 cars widths. And it's a bit too much, isn't it? It's just too much of a tight angle for him. As look at Blake Hood there. Under pressure from Hefford. Mate, Hefford's making a lot easier progress than what Andreas is doing.
Yeah, I think so. He seems to have the knack down. He's getting the run when the guys are sort of single file rather than 2 wide, and that's what's making the difference. Is he's up the inside of Blake Hood, and
I thought
make this one stick, I would think.
Thought for a second Ashley was going to pull the old classic British motorway trick of just pulling out in front of the car in the faster
Blake
lane
Hood
there.
A little bit squirrely under. There's a little bit of brake in there, but more just deceleration.
Look. See that traction off of 3, off that low line. That's where that low line can really work for Oculus.
Yeah, this time maybe an opportunity. Katz having to be patient, waiting for his teammate to make a move. Svidovic has got past Tim Mawson for 5th, so he's working his way back up there. Stevens just behind Mawson as well. Czepelewski there as well. David Baker some 3 seconds back in 9th place, but he's got Pete Newman tucked up, side by side to him as well, but we'll stay with this battle.
Now, Katz got forced up to the high side that time, and he got a much better exit than Steve Hefford did, as Hefford getting very close to Blake Hood in the tunnel turn. That'll unsettle him, Alex. You don't want that aero to be taken off that rear wing like that.
Yeah, Baker and Newman as well, just a bit further back, side by side at the moment, 9th and 10th place.
Blake Hood's into the lead, sorry Alex, he dove up the inside into turn 3, and he's actually made that move stick on Rushworth for now. Don't know how long it's going to last though, as back we go over the line.
Yeah, we're going to be 3 wide again. Hefford this time, he's determined not to come down so low as his teammates.
That's where Katz should have been, mate. 3rd line up. That's the better line. He can still take the wider entry. And it looks like it's
Jamie round the outside, though. He's going to get that back, but I think you're right.
I think Hefford's got great traction.
I think Hefford might just get
but he's in the wall
here.
A bit further up. I think one of the back markers was in the wall. Oh, look at this. This isn't going to work into turn 2. Apologies to everyone else. This battle's very exciting at the front at the moment.
Traffic. Now this could be interesting as well. Yeah. Definitely shakes it up a little bit.
Hefford now going to the very top of the track. That's that new tarmac, Alex. That darker shade of grey that we have there. Bit more grip available to the drivers, and Hefford using that well, but Katz struggling through on that lap. Oh, and there's a connection issue for Rushworth. Did you see that?
Missed that.
Jumped around a little bit and bump drafting, which is never a good thing to happen. Rushworth blinked a little and jumped around the track, but survives, and so does Ashley Blake Hood. Ashley Blake Hood, Alex, a race winner in his first season in the championship last season. Just a reserve driver this time round, but he looks like he's having some fun out there.
Yeah, definitely looks like he's got some performance on this oval as well, and it's only him and Rushworth that have led a lap so far, so I think if things stay as they are, then it's going to be a fight for those two. Once again, though, Cat's having a little look. He's got to make some sort of move stick. He's just, once again, he has a look. He just can't do it. He just hasn't got he's just not carrying the momentum through the middle of the corner. That Oculus car is quick on the entry, but doesn't have the grip in the middle. And actually, it's cost a little bit of time, and Jamie's 0.4 of a second away, but I think they'll just romp up to him very, very quickly with the draft.
Yeah, and actually what the traffic's done is they allowed Savidovic to get within about 1 second here. Half a second ahead of Tim Mawson. Tim's a very good oval driver, isn't he? He's actually won the Indy 500s before.
Yeah, Tim, very experienced on the oval, done a lot of Indy racing, so he's been on this track, and in practice he looked very strong straight away, lapping on his own. Very consistent driver is Tim, and it's really paying dues now. Just looking at his last lap time as well, just under 1/10 of a second. Oh, they're 3 wide, looking very close. That I thought for a minute was going to be Kearns. Blake Hood drops down, and you know what, Jamie all of a sudden 1.2 seconds ahead.
I was almost going to say, where's he gone?
Yeah, all this fighting is just letting him scamper away with 4 laps left of this race. So
that's a big gap.
Yeah, all of a sudden Savidovic is right on Blake Hood, and then Mawson's with him. Ellis Stevens just behind Tim, having a little look actually up the inside. Let's just have a little look. And one Hefford as well on his teammate. Well, no, it's Blake Hood. So
oh, there we go. And they've managed to save it, both of them. But Savidovic is going to be right there now. And Mawson and Stevens. And
Cat's Jamie's gone now, that's it. That little
oh no, we're gonna go through one into the tunnel turn. This is gonna be impossible. It won't work, boys. Oh, and Katz has lost it. Very wide. Gonna lose position to Hefford and Mawson and Chepelevsky. Disastrous, that one mistake, isn't it?
Yeah, that's both of the Oculus cars dropped down there as well, so not good for the team points. Mawson's got Chepelevsky on the inside.
They were looking.
Mawson should get the drive out of it as well as the draft, and Oculus cars are trying to fight back on the GTM Mega car of Chepelevsky there as well.
It was looking like about 5 minutes ago, Alex, that Andreas Katz and Steve Hefford could be 1 and 2 in this race. Now they're down to 7th and 8th.
Oh, that's Chepelevsky so up the inside. I just thought for a minute everybody was sort of diving into turn 1, getting very close, just 2 laps to go. I quickly need to jump to Jamie. He's working his way through the traffic. He's broke the draft. He is gone.
Savidovic somehow is in second place, even after nearly crashing off the track earlier on. And Blake Hood's having another look, but he's not going to make it round the outside. In fact, he's just compromised himself there. And that's only Stevens up in 4th place, isn't it?
Yeah, that Power Max car is very, very quick, and I think he's got opportunity to get a run.
Oh, Blake Hood has a
little look.
But I think Power Max look like they've looked after their tyres as well, which is the key around here. And look, there's more stuff going on there with Chepelevsky, Hefford, and Andreas Katz. As we start the final lap, the white flag is out.
Yeah, the Oculus car, just for whatever reason, just cannot seem to go side by side with anyone. That is where it's losing all of its momentum. So I don't know if they've got just a little bit less downforce in the middle of the corner than some of the others, and that's what's killing them, or they've got a bit too much or something like that. I don't know, and they're scrubbing too much speed off that way. So
Rushworth was was about 5 kilometres an hour faster on the straight than the Oculus cars. So Power Max looking like they've got that setup optimised perfectly. And
Ellis up the inside of Blake Hood. Blake Hood's got a run out wide. He can't do it. Mawson potentially with a run on Blake Hood into the last lap. Let's just see if Tim can manage to pull that off. Then we'll jump to Jamie. Up the inside is Mawson. Now or never, Tim, if you're going to make it stick. I don't think he's going to get the run off the corner. I think Blake Hood's got it. Oh, it's very, very close.
Brilliant action. Jamie Rushworth wins. And Pocono, Savidovic, Blake Hood, Stevens. Stevens, Blake Hood, Mawson, Katz, Chepelevsky, Hefford, Hoog and Baker is your top 10. Fast and furious and fantastic, Alex.
Yeah, let's just have a little look further back. Still the odd little bit of battles going on here. Oh, Jay Wright's run out of fuel down in 20th place. He's Oh, I can't even say what I want to say.
He's
My mouth's
doing
not
that.
working.
His car's doing
He's
that.
chugging across the line. There we go. Get it out.
You chugged your way over that last bit of commentary.
Oh, that's terrible. And you could see. He was just. You could see the heartbreak there as the line was so close, and it was just.
We've all
cars
done
were
it.
streaming past him on the left and the right there.
We've all done that, I must admit, and it's an awful feeling. And well, that's a tremendous opener, that, Alex. Brilliant.
Yeah, there was a couple of bits of bit of unlucky sort of shenanigans going on there, but for the most part, actually, the racing was fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to run through we went through the top 10, going to run through the rest of the field as well. Pete Newman in 11th. 12th is Daniel Hunt, 13th Scott Malcolm, that's a really good result for him. Paul Smith 14th, Steve Burke 15th. Then Stanimir Zuzov from 25th on the grid got 16th. Richard Gore 17th, then 18th for Eckhart von Glan. 19th Andrew Whitehead, 20th Simon Field. Then Jay Wright in 21st, Robert Plumley 22nd. 23rd was Walensky, 24th Robert Fagg, 25th Lee Thompson. And then the rest of the point scorers, Yulian Janowski in 26th. He's the last man who's eligible for the reverse grid pole. Ben Palmer, John Roberts, Steve Richardson, Robert Graham, Steve Walker, Laura Bond, Gordon Wilson, Sebastian Job, Colin Steele and Martin Brandon. Matt Walker failed to score. John Bays and Lee Berridge also paid the penalty for not finishing.
Well, let's just hope the next one is just as eventful as that. Let's bring me Magic Dice up though and see who it is that's going to be on the pole position.
12 sides of doom. So it's everyone from 15th, Stephen Burke, down to the 26th position finisher, and that's Yulian Janowski.
Right, so we've done our 3 dummy rolls, and for the final one, and see who it's going to be, 22nd.
Robert Plumley. Going to put his, he's going to put his volatile element car onto the front row. Alongside him is going to be Jay Wright, whose reward for running out of fuel. Alex is a front row start now.
Yeah, there you go. Couldn't have asked for any more, could he?
Simon Field, Andrew Whitehead, Eckhart von Glan is your top 5. That's race 1 done in Pocono, and we'll be back very, very shortly with coverage of race 2 and 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be live very, very shortly.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com. Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to BSR TV. Thanks for sticking with us here live on YouTube. Andrew Woodhouse and Alex Simpson with you at Pocono Raceway in the United States. Yes, we are stateside here, and we are also on the 3-turn oval here at Pocono. Alex, there's a good first race. Overcast conditions here will make the cars a lot faster, but will overtaking suffer as a result of that?
It is possible. I genuinely think actually probably overtaking be a little bit better. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised actually how good the racing was. Multiple grooves out there as well, and you could hold it up wide, and you could try and get in underneath, and you could defend however you wanted really. So I think actually this will just make the racing even more better. It will open up that top line even maybe for passing around the outside if anyone dares to chance it.
Robert Plumley is on pole position for this one alongside Jay Wright, and Plumley's a very good driver, isn't he? And at the front of this field, he's got a good chance to get some good points here, I think.
Yeah, Robert's had his fair share of reverse grid poles in the time. Dice always seems to pick him out, I reckon. And but like you say, very good driver. Last couple of seasons, really sort of stepping it up a little bit, and hopefully he can get away well and have a good race. Really, I think. There's an Apex car backwards there.
Crashed in the middle.
But,
Savidovic wall riding.
But yeah, I think anything can happen. It's going to be a lot harder for the quick guys like Jamie and that to work their way up through the pack as normal. Obviously, the draft really helps everybody. It just depends whether or not it breaks apart very quickly. If that happens, then there's the potential for them to come through. But I would think there's a much greater risk here to get caught up in a slightly larger accident than there was at the road races.
We are going to have, it'll be similar to in Indianapolis in that respect if we have an accident early on, but it's obviously with it being overcast, there's going to be a pace lap here, but the drivers, they're going to have to work quite hard to warm the tyres up, but they don't want to do any damage to them necessarily.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I think as we see a little bit of what's going on to witness in the race, but actually there's a perfect example. Sorry, I'm not sure that was Tim Mawson on. I'm not sure who was right behind him, but there's enough grip there that they're able just to get a little bit out of shape and collect it back up before running out into the wall. So I think that's definitely going to be good. But you're right. The pace lap will help get the rears up to a little bit of reasonable pressure. I don't think the track conditions are all that cold. It is just a little bit more overcast.
Another 20 laps then to go in this race before we of course go to race 3 of the day. Did anything surprise you about that first race?
Yeah, like I say, really, I was just surprised how well the guys could manage to run side by side, 3 wide there. The different grooves. I mean, you hear a lot of the NASCAR drivers moaning that it's single groove racing on the ovals and stuff like that. Maybe they ought to switch the Peak Anti-Freeze series out to the Kia. Then they'll have a lot of fun.
That'd be great, wouldn't it? I reckon it'd be brilliant. But you really do have to drive the tracks in this car, though, don't you? There is that bit of driver skill as well, isn't there? Which does come with. Just come with a car that's just about on the limit.
Yeah, exactly. They can't afford to, they can't afford to throw it in there like we often see some of the, the NASCAR events and things like that. So certainly not like an IndyCar that's flat out all the way around. So yeah, it's quite a challenge. You've got to pick your lines. You've got to work out what the best line is, and drivers set the car up to run in different grooves. I mean, Kia's quite limited in what they've been able to tweak as well, so to get it to work well on an oval, not particularly easy, because those inside left tyres, they're not going to be set up at all well to run on this circuit.
Well, no, not at all. And Jamie Rushworth winning that first race, it has closed the gap a little bit, Alex. It's still quite a large gap to Savidovic, but both men I think will be not really complacent in getting towards the shootout, but they'll definitely be up there come about race 70-ish when the shootout is comes into effect.
Yeah, Speedovic really, the big moment for him was when he made contact with the wall, lost it himself, and run into Sebastian. Like I say, if Sebastian hadn't have been there, his race was over. He was into that pit wall just the same as what Sebastian was, and that gap would have been much smaller. So he needs to find Sebastian out there and thank him very much for saving his bacon, because he was able just to deflect off of that Apex car and carry on his way. And yeah, what a great fight back for second. So going to be interesting to watch. He certainly showed you can make up some places. I think when he dropped down to about 8th or 9th, wasn't it, after that? So but even then that took a fair amount of time to do. So
well, it was when they were all battling at the front, wasn't it? He caught up quite quickly, and he managed to overtake very quickly as well. And you know what? He sort of ran into a good result there, didn't he? But the thing is, as demonstrated by Baker and Rushworth and Speedovic on a regular basis, those guys have a way of finding their way to the front.
Yeah, exactly. He just took his time, really, didn't he? And did the moves when he needed to do it, and he let the fighting really sort of commence ahead of him, and then he jumped in and took advantage, really.
Pace car is at the head of this field again. There is the possibility, actually, Alex, of a safety car. As you said, there is chance of a big accident on the first lap. We hope not, obviously, but that could spice a few things up.
Yeah, it's interesting to point out, actually, that I don't know. The admins might have to confirm this, whether or not normal safety car procedures are in place with the oval. I imagine they would be. It's standard, isn't it, for the oval side of things? So we didn't see any
unless
with all
it's
the
just
incidents
like a
that went.
demolition derby, and they're just going to let it go.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it was much the same as what it was, with typical NASCAR. Really, if you run down into the apron area on this massive circuit, then actually you'll be there won't be a caution thrown, and that was pretty much all I saw through that race. I didn't really see anyone sort of bouncing back onto the track or anything like that. So
I think that's the way of this Pocono circuit, isn't it? Because of the walls on the outside, you hit them and usually end up somewhere else. And it's very wide as well, isn't it? It's about 8-9 cars widths down that main straight.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Just look at it now. As quite a distance away from the track, this very wide-angled shot, and you could tell you could get at least 5, if not more, 6 cars wide down there. That's where they should do the media day. Have them all line up. It'd be about 4 lanes deep.
Yeah, they wouldn't have. They'd have to shoot it from about 1 kilometre away to get everyone in. But what do you reckon that Plumley and Jay Wright? What do you reckon their chances are? Simon Field's lurking behind them. He could be a good contender here.
Yeah, Field's going to be quick. I mean, for any one of the guys at the front, they need, like what happened with Jamie, really, he needs the people to start fighting behind them so that they can break away. Without them really starting to scrap out there, it's going to be very difficult for those guys to hold on to this, I would think.
Not long to go then until the start of round 17 here at Pocono. We saw a really, really good first race. We do hope we get similar again this time round. Robert Plumley is going to bring the field to the green anytime soon. Need to come out of the final corner, turn 3, as Alex mentioned in the first race, a bit flatter, a little easier as well potentially. Turn 1, a little less bumpy as well. Jay Wright has taken off. I think Alex he's to get back in line.
Yeah, he's going to get himself a
black flag. There probably is going to be a black flag there for Wright as Plumley takes the green flag as it comes out here at Pocono. I haven't got a clue what Jay Wright is up to there, but I don't think that's going to stick, do you?
No, I'm not sure on that. I mean, the thing is,
technically he passed on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, and that's the rules. And Rob dropped back miles from the pace car, and he went on the green rather than when the pace car dropped in.
We'll see. I think maybe, on that one.
Yeah, maybe a bit of inexperience from Rob's part there. I've never seen anybody try and do that, and like you say, he's around the outside. He's legitimate enough to do it. He's stuck behind the pace car like he should. That was really Rob's call to get up to the pace car.
We will see, however, if he does have to come into the pits for a drive-through penalty. We will see that this time round. Not really a lot going on behind them at the moment, so we'll see what happens to Wright. Yeah, in the pits there, mate. That's a black flag.
Yep.
So the instincts were right, I think, from us originally. It was a good try, I think. Trying to get a bit of a sneaky little one. Look at them there, mate. You mentioned they were 5 wide before. We were almost 5 wide into turn 1 with Dan Hunt and Paul Smith. And oh, look at Smith around the outside of Hunt. That was a good move.
Yeah,
and
Hunt
Blake
got a little bit out of shape there going into the one in the Oculus car there. And yeah, Smith, like I say, got great run around the outside. The Carnage car's quick, very quick. Sorry, volatile element.
Baker trying to make it 3 wide with Katz and Blake Hood. Dave Baker, season 7 champion on the inside. And look at Katz as well. Chepelevsky, they're all in there. A lot of the big names.
Just moved up.
And Baker and Chepelevsky, they're getting together a little bit. And that's not going to help either one of them. Andreas Katz is going to go through. Plumley is getting dropped off a little bit by Simon Field, who did look quick in that first race, Alex, until he was crashed into.
Yeah, that was the thing, wasn't it? He got caught up in that. So I think we seem to have a nice line through turn 1 as we're just sort of seeing that, still jumping on board, looking now to the rear of Chepelevsky's got Katz just to the inside of him there, ducks back in the draft. That's Svidovic just behind him as well. So those guys are battling pretty hard out there. Steve Burke on Plumley, but Plumley all kinds of out of shape through the tunnel turn there, and yeah, he's
oh man, sorry, Chepelevsky and Baker and Katz 3 wide, and then there's 3 wide behind them as well. Oh, the twitch from Smith, and he does save it just about, Paul Smith, and averting absolute disaster there was the Yorkshireman.
Yeah, that's a gaggle. I think we can officially say that.
Where's Conrad?
That's a gaggle.
Yeah. Gaggle. And Zuzov's up there in 6th position, trying to take Scott Malcolm.
You have to forgive me, Zuzov's still the driver that's sitting there with the least amount of incidents as well.
Yep, I think he is.
Yeah, obviously a fairly tasty prize up for grabs on that, so he'll hope he can stay out of trouble. He's in a relatively good position. I mean, clearly the Hornet's nest is from about 13th, 14th back right now. Svidovic sort of in and around there. I think it's all getting a bit tasty around there.
Baker's a bit sideways through 2, but he did actually make the move on Daniel Hunt. It's all going a bit mental here as that's Malcolm, is it? Malcolm's on the inside and Newman twitching with damage on the front of his Kia. And look at, that's an Apex car, isn't it? Richard Gore.
Yep.
And they're all fanning out. Look at this now. Look at this down the straight, Alex.
Yeah, great.
3, 4, 5 wide nearly. Look at that.
Well, we said that these conditions.
Oh, and Blake Hood and Gore nearly coming to grief, and there would have been a lot of gore there if that had happened. Baker on the inside of Malcolm is trying to follow Blake Hood through. There's Whitehead in 3rd, ahead of Newman.
Yeah, these track conditions are just making this an absolute huge pack.
Brilliant.
From
Baker.
I just want to say, from 1st to 37th is 8 seconds at the moment.
That's mental, isn't it? I mean, that's Svidovic. Speaking of mental, some 3 wide action going on. Svidovic. The thing is, Alex, at this point, it only takes one mistake, and the whole lot's going to come crashing down like a house of cards. And Baker's at the front of that pack with Whitehead. Simon Field actually and Stephen Burke cleared off 2 teammates there, and they've done the smart thing, haven't they? They've worked together. No controversy there. They're making a good partnership, and they're 3.7 seconds ahead.
Yeah, they're just not going to get caught either at that sort of gap. You know, this. I mean, we've got Baker and Blake Hood. They're going to start to work together as well, clearly. Although Blake Hood's just poking his nose out. I'm surprised he's not pushing his teammate there. So it's just going to hold each other up just a little bit there. Maybe
that's Malcolm and Newman. And there's Katz, and then
they're all checking up.
Katz is on the grass, and he still managed to go through, Alex. I think he's gone to the head of that. Oh, Whitehead and Newman again.
Huge crash. That has to be the caution.
And I don't know what's going on there.
Where is the caution?
No,
cars are all over the
really.
track.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's disabled. Maybe we called it wrong.
Well, a bit belated.
But here we go as well down the straight. Car on the right up next to the wall, flipping, rolling. There's 3 or 4 cars caught up in that as well.
Another crash halfway down. Oh, it's Rushworth. Rushworth, who was involved mainly in that one.
Yeah, Jamie, not good for Jamie that.
The safety car, I think, came too late for some. Oh, it was Chepelevsky and Rushworth getting together, and I think only one car hit Jamie's car as it was flipping around through the air. So the yellow flag, well, the yellow flag was going to come out. Apparently, the cautions have been disabled for this race. So there's no safety car at all. We continue to race here at Pocono. Well, there you go. Demolition Derby rules, mate. Every man for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. That might just change.
And I tell you what, the two people who are most pleased about that, have a guess who?
Yep, Simon Field and Stephen Burke. Those guys absolutely flying out there right now.
Yeah, and they're just overtaking a lapped car as well. 26 is Jay Wright, who unfortunately
Baker and Hood are physically bump drafting each other now, trying to
teammates
to get it done. So it's the only way they're going to catch up. Last time by, they were considerably slower.
Oh, Baker nearly hit the wall there though. But the old two cars.
Is that something else? Oh, that's Scott Malcolm flipping around, spinning.
Oh, is anybody going to hit him? Doesn't look like it, and he just get going again.
Yeah, it's just himself there, so he's all right. He's managed
single
to.
Car?
Yeah, just a single car incident. He got that was lucky.
He was helped by Chepelevsky, Alex, into the wall. Chepelevsky's in orbit. You need to go back and see that. Stelian Chepelevsky, well, he might come down in Bulgaria.
Yeah, let's see if we can jump it back.
I think Richard Gore got a bit of that as well. Or was it?
Yeah, Richard's still surviving.
Might have been Thompson, actually.
Thompson got caught up in that first one, I think, as well. He was in the pits way early. So
we may need to send out a search party for Stellion.
Right, so let's have a look. We're looking at Stellion. We've got the Laser Tools cars and an Apex car in front of us. Camera angle's a bit far away. Oh, there he goes. He's flipping.
He's gone.
Oh yeah. Oh dear. I was reading an article actually about iRacing, about their crash physics, that they try their best to make them as realistic as possible. And I think that has just proved that they failed miserably at that task.
Oh dear, that's next on the that should be next on. Oh, his goodness me, Tim Mawson, exceptionally sideways there, brilliant save, and he's just in front of his teammate, who is Sebastian Job, and Job is actually going to take advantage and actually going to go through in the tunnel turn. Well, he's at least going to try and go through. Is he going to stay through? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, Mawson was actually pushing as actually Ellis. Stephen comes past both of them. He's very, very low, so he's going to push up big time in the middle of this corner.
Yep. The same thought that I had. It was a bit hairy, that.
Yeah,
Newman's 11th. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, he sort of threw it in there, and the guys above him just had to leave the room for him to drift up into.
Duzov very wide, and he's going to bring it all back, and he's actually going to get a decent run out of turn 3, just behind the Carnage car. Oh, there goes.
He's got 4X there, so that's
Steve Walker.
It's not going to help him.
It was quite a light tap, wasn't it? Might have got away with that. Yeah, maybe. It's at least a 2, is that, I think. The other pack with Laura Bond, Robert Plumley. Oh, Robert Plumley is down to 20th place.
Yeah, struggled.
Did he has he just been shuffled back a bit?
Yeah, I think so. That's it, really. Not seeing anything or any other reason as to why that would have been.
Quite a loose car, it looks like. So Don't know if that's helping him. It looks like he's got understeer on the exit of the corners as well. Still though, the top 10, just 7 seconds covering them, just 3 seconds between 3rd and 10th.
Oh, that was Robert Plummer. He's really struggling out there. We were just looking back from Laura, and he just run it out into the wall, and yeah, he's really having a bit of a mare out there.
Oh, and he's in the wall again. Yeah. Oh, going on. As
Baker
John
and
Roberts
Svidovic,
pitch.
are they side by side? Oh, I'm hearing some flipping. Who's dropping down? It's not John Roberts. Who else is it that's stationary?
Flipping.
Oh, I heard someone just doing some sort of cartwheel action or something down the street, but I don't see anyone. So
We didn't
yeah.
see anyone dropping down. We might see it next lap. Well, yeah, we'll keep you posted on that one.
On board with Robert Fagg. He's tucked up behind Richard Gore. This is 4th. Well, what is 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th place is Bow just ahead of them. It's not Ben Palmer, it's Pete Newman. And yeah, Robert's having a little bit of a run.
Rob Fagg's done quite a good job, really. Started last in the first race. I think he got a penalty, didn't he, actually, from Barber? I think it was a back of the grid penalty. The old bog. And he's ended up at the back. And he's actually fought through, and he's now 14th. Getting a little bit of help from Paul Smith.
Yeah, Ashley Blake Hood, Sebastian Job there side by side. Going into turn 1 as well. You can just see that in the distance there.
And actually, Blake Hood's struggling a bit. He's lost 4 positions there. Mawson is ahead of Job, and then it's it's Stevens, sorry. Then Dan
Hunt passed. I wonder if there's a bit of aero damage or something going on Ashley's car right now, because yeah, he's just dropping back massively. Let's have a look at back. Yeah, definitely got some damage on the front right there.
Yeah.
Seems like he's not quite tracking true as well. So it's obviously affecting his straight line speed out there.
Not going to help him either, Alex, because that's the tyre you need to lean on, isn't it?
Yep.
On this oval track, you're turning left all the time, of course.
Back marker involved there. Just like sitting around Tim and Seb. They've got Ellis coming up behind them. That Power Max car very, very fast. So I expect that Ellis will have a little run at those towards the end.
Now,
Katz and Baker as well. They're exchanging positions right now.
Will they be exchanging blows? Not sure. Baker. It's been a decent run from Baker and Svidovic, to be fair. Svidovic started 20th, Alex, and you were saying it's going to be quite difficult for them to get through. It has been. Taken quite a time, but you know, Wojciech's he's shown he's had the pace really all meeting as Baker's actually coming through now. Katz is going to try and follow him. Look, that's the age-old tactic, isn't it? Shove one opponent wide, and then the other one can follow through.
Yeah, I'm surprised Katz didn't take a high line there and try and check back down. He's struggled with that low line all race long, and again it hasn't worked. Yeah, just stay up high behind Svidovic, get a good run off the corner, and then get Svidovic that way. Yeah, just wasn't really going to follow Baker there. That Oculus car's just had no pace.
See what he does.
At the moment.
See what he does this time. Yeah, still the low line. But there, look. He's got to be careful as well, Alex, running that line. He doesn't drift up the track and into another car. Very easy to do, especially in that bumpy turn 1. All the bumps can send you all over the place.
Yeah, that's the thing with someone we forget. He is actually very, very bumpy. Don't want to hit the inside curb there. That'll push him out straight into the wall as well. As I think that was Katz just getting a little bit close to the wall there, but managing to survive. Having a little look at a battle further back.
Baker. Sorry, Alex Baker's going for the inside. I think there's contact there between Baker and Svidovic. Baker pushed up the track. Pretty sure he made contact with the engine or direct car.
Yeah, Baker not quite got the run. He's got his nose ahead. He's going to have a little look into turn 1. Should be able to do it there. He cuts back in actually. That, I tell you what, Svidovic has got a lot of straight line speed in his engine or direct car there.
Yep, so he didn't really get a great run off the corner either. With 5 laps to go now, Simon Field leads by 2.7. It's actually dropped Stephen Burke off. I think Burke lost a lot of ground in the traffic, and to be honest, mate, dropping back big time towards Svidovic, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, what we're talking, half a second that last lap actually.
Baker's going, Baker's through.
It's not enough. Yeah, we're on board with Baker right now actually. It's not enough for than Svidovic already having a little look. That car is seriously fast.
That's not 2.4 seconds, though, I don't think.
No.
Between
No,
Steve
no
Burke
chance.
and Wojciech Svidovic.
Not while they're fighting right now, not in 5 laps. They've got no chance of catching up Burke. Burke's good for second place as long as nothing happens in front of him with traffic.
That gap is rapidly slowing, though. Burke 1 minute point 2, Baker 59.7, another half second, Alex. Now only 2 seconds. Keep an eye on it.
Further back, huge one. Oh, there's cars everywhere.
Oh man,
He just
Paul
jumped
Smith
on board with Steve Richardson. He's got cars flying left and the right. All sorts of stuff going on out there.
So that's Paul Smith, Pete Newman. Oh. And that
Richard Gore, I think, was caught in that as well.
was Robert Fagg trying to make it 4 wide and misjudging it.
Let's have a little look, see if we
Into
can get that
Newman,
back.
into Smith, into Palmer.
Something was going off already ahead, which is why they were slow. Just watching it back, there was a lot of smoke there. But yeah, you're right, 3 wide, and then decided to make it 4. Yep.
And he would have had the space, but he twitched a bit to the right. And into Newman. Newman took Smith and also Ben Palmer. I'm quite good at bowling. He just picked up a 6-7-10 split there. I think perfectly placed.
Well, Steve Burke just the 1.2 seconds ahead of Svidovic now. We've got a lot of smoke out there as well. So
All sorts going on here. You know what? Actually, Field is now only 1 second ahead of Stephen Burke. Only 1 second ahead of Svidovic.
yes, I'm not really sure what's going on. I wonder if they're fuel saving something out there. We saw that last race as well. Guys just miscalculating the fuel a little bit.
Svidovic almost hit the wall as well. You know what? Baker and Wojciech and David they've really got a chance here, you know? Not over by any stretch.
No,
Simon Field's last lap was 101.4.
9 tenths of a second. They're going to start to pick the draft up now as well.
59.6 that time though. He's gone and smashed in a good one. Field, I think he's just cemented his win there.
Still Baker and Svidovic having their little battle. Svidovic on the outside this time.
The top 10 with 2 laps to go. Field, Burke, Baker, Svidovic, Katz in 5th, Mawson 6th, 7th Job, 8th Stevens, 9th Hunt and Blake Hood in 10th. Zuzov 11th, Bond 12th actually as well. Quite close behind. Steve Richardson actually 13th as well. Going to go down the wire, I think, for 3rd place. And
Yeah,
actually 2nd place.
Well, yeah, 3 tenths of a second now they are. So all of a sudden, Burke just looks on real shaky ground. He's going to get swallowed up very, very quickly here.
But Baker's getting some slight side draft there. Svidovic did drive it into the corner quite deep, and he's lost the position as a result. I can hear some contact as well. Here's someone in the wall. Oh, that was Lee Thompson. Lee Thompson out of the race.
Thompson down in 25th place.
Collision with an Oculus car. Jay Wright.
We'll stay with this. It's 3 wide.
And they
for
took out
second place for a moment. Burke's gone in very, very hot there. That's
He hit the
basically
wall, I
into
think.
the wall. He's going to be able to tuck back into the draft, but he's lost the place. Svidovic comes out in second place once again. Field comes across the line. This is the last lap as well, so Field's got more than enough gap to, as we look at the battle back from there. So, but once again, Baker and Svidovic side by side.
Oh, there's contact between them.
I think that'll be it. Actually, I think that'll be Svidovic locking in second place. He's got a bit of a gap, way too much to catch back up on this last corner.
Simon Field coming around the final corner. And it's been a masterful display from him. Come round at Pocono and take round 17 here at the Tricky Triangle. 2nd place will go to Dave Baker ahead of Wojciech Svidovic, 2nd. Baker 3rd, apologies for that. Stephen Burke in 4th. Then Andreas Katz, then Ellis Stevens. Ellis Stevens nicked 6th from Tim Mawson by a 10th of a second. Then Sebastian Job, Dan Hunt. Stanimir Zuzov actually got ahead of Blake Hood, Bond and Richardson. Kept ahead of them on that final lap.
Another great race, a lot of carnage in there. Should have had a caution, so yeah, maybe that will be rectified for the next race. There was a huge crash there that really shook the field up, and actually I think it'd have been nice to have took it to a caution there as well and tucked it back together, because we had what was probably 10 laps there at the start of that race that were fantastic. 3, 4 wide all over the place. Awesome driving from everyone involved. And then unfortunately, just one car got a little bit loose, and all hell broke loose.
We did see a couple of times there, Alex, that a couple of cars trying to go 3 or 4 wide, but they weren't holding the line. They didn't keep the wheels straight. That's the key, isn't it? If you're going to do that, you need to be precise.
Absolutely, you can't afford to drift up out of your lane when you get that call from the spotter saying you're 3 wide, and then when you're 4 wide, even more so. You've got to be absolutely steadfast and just keep it pinpoint straight. And a couple of times we saw that just didn't quite happen, and some ambitious moves, as we saw, driver taking it 4 wide, and probably should have just backed out of that one long ago.
Yeah, indeed, and. Top 5, I tell you, full of race winners, full of champions as well. 3 champions in the top 5 of the, in fact, 4 champions in the top 6, with Ellis Stevens as well. It was quite exciting, really, the battle for 3rd and beneath.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can catch a word with Stephen Burke. If not now, after we roll the dice. Or after the end of the next race, because definitely they just seemed like all of a sudden they were struggling. They were miles in front, and then just lost a lot of time. And I can only assume that down to a little bit of fuel saving or something.
It could have been, because as soon as it looked like Field had sorted out whatever problem that was, he banged in a 59.6. Let's have a look at just quickly a few of his race laps from the end of the race. Only really 2 laps, Alex, that were very slow, but they were very slow. So he was doing 59.6, 59.6, then 1 minute 0.7, 1014, and then he was back to 59.6, 59.7. So
yeah, strange.
Maybe they just needed that little bit of extra fuel. Maybe it was very marginal, or maybe it was calculated, because it also looked like it happened to Steve Burke as well. But Steve Burke, for a more extended period of time, were dropping into the 1 minutes.
Let's do the magic dice, work out the grid order for the next race, and we'll cut to a quick commercial break, and we'll speak to those guys, I think, for at the end of race 3.
So then the eligible candidates, as it were, on election day: Gordon Wilson, Richard Gore, John Roberts, Pete Newman, Eckhart von Glan, Steve Hefford, Alex Smolensky, Stefan Hoog. And we didn't see Stefan Hoog at all in that race. Jay Wright, 23rd, Steve Walker, 24th, Andrew Whitehead, 25th, and Stelin Chepelevsky, who, if he's managed to survive re-entry, then he might be on pole.
Right, we've done our 3 dummy rolls. The pole position is going to go to 25th.
Andy Whitehead.
Another driver who's seen a fair share of reverse grid poles in his time. So, yeah, Whitehead up front, that'd be great.
Well, he must have known 25 was coming out, because he started 4th on the grid last time, finished 25th. I've been angling for it.
Let's see if we can very quickly grab a tiny word with Steve, actually, just before we go to a quick commercial. It'll take a little while to get the next session up, so let's see if we can grab him down. Hi, Stephen. Welcome to the box. Are you able to have a quick word with us? Hey there, Steve.
It's probably gone for refreshments.
Yeah, silence is golden, I think. Let's move him back up there and see if we can bring down Simon, see if Simon can let us know. Congratulations, Simon.
Thank you very much.
Great result for you. You guys were absolutely flying out there at the start. Seemed to lose a little bit of momentum the last part of the race. Your teammate especially couldn't quite hold on to that 2nd place. Just wondered if you can fill us in. Was it just not hitting your marks, or were you struggling with fuel or anything else like that out there?
No. I was being a bit cheeky, to be honest. I wanted the team 1-2, so I was trying to drop back and give him a little bit of a tow, but didn't quite work out in the end.
So Stephen wasn't suffering with fuel or anything like that. He just lost you through the traffic, really.
Yeah, he lost a bit of ground on the traffic, and then I think he was suffering a little with the tyres. But even still, a 1-4 is still not a bad result. we needed a good one. We've had a couple of rough rounds lately, so this makes up for it.
First time that we've covered an oval race in the BRSTC. I'm pretty sure it's the first time we've been one. What's your thoughts so far?
It's not too bad with this car, actually. You wouldn't want to pound round on your own, but it does make for good racing. So that's the main thing, really. That it's certainly interesting in the races anyway, and hopefully it looks good on TV as well.
Yeah, brilliant. 25 car reverse grid, so you're all the way back 25th. What can you do from there?
Well, we'll see. Like I say, anything can happen with the draft off these cars. It's certainly easy to pass cars, but at the same time, everyone else can get past you as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and if I can crack a top 10, I'll be pleased.
I wish you all the best in the race, mate, and we'll catch you then.
Thank you very much.
Simon Field there. Delighted, and helping to help his teammate out there. Perhaps just made the call a little bit late. Do you think, Andrew? Needed to drop back about 4 or 5 laps earlier.
Yeah, he got taken out in race 1, didn't he, as well? And must have been a nightmare if he's trying to get through all that at the end of the race as well. But he did it. He won the race. Unfortunately, didn't work out quite so well for his teammate. But we're on to race 3. We'll see if they can do it again. They've obviously got a quick car, especially in clear air. So we'll see what they can do.
All right, guys. Thanks very much. Stay with us. We'll be back in probably about 5 minutes' time. Enjoy the adverts. We'll be back right soon.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
What is so important about driving faster than anyone else?
A lot of people go through life doing things badly. Racing's important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life. Anything that happens before or after, it's just waiting.
And we're back from Pocono for round 18 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Pro Series. Alex Simpson and Andrew Woodhouse with you. And Alex, it's the final race of the day. We've got Andrew Whitehead on pole position. We saw a great strategic win from Simon Field last time round, basically clearing off while all the rest of them were knocking spots off each other. Do we think we can see a similar situation here?
Well, it's quite possible for sure. I think, again, a massive reverse grid, so those guys at the front can take a little while to get up there, and saw what happened really with all that battling, just sort of third, fourth, fifth place. Just split the pack out really quickly. So yeah, I think if there's a couple of drivers that can, or a couple of teammates that can work together, so they're not battling each other up front, then that's where it's going to happen. So we'll keep an eye out and see who it is that can force sort of two-car, well, I don't want to say tandems, but that's kind of like what it was.
Guys are once again dark, so the two-car tango is going to happen in overcast conditions again, and we did see guys. The cars were quicker. There was a bit more freedom, wasn't there, for drivers to place the car exactly where they wanted to. However, it did mean that it did get very hectic in that mid-pack, and you're only ever one slight slip away from a big crash here.
Yeah, exactly. We saw, I think that's I mean, it was better for sure. I mean, you could hold the lines. They were able to sort of defend and run around the outside a little bit. But yeah, that basically opened it up to 3 and 4 wide, as we saw, and that's why we had a few more accidents in that race than we did the first one.
Yeah, no safety cars enabled for this race. Some good racing though, Alex, so far, and we've seen especially Wojciech Savidovic as well making his way through the pack twice. First after a mistake, and the second was just a bang-up drive from 20th place. Yeah,
absolutely, and I think if he can do the same again, then really is cementing himself as a driver who's just consistently up there, and I think it's going to be very difficult to beat him come the end of the season.
Is he may well be the man to beat, but of course it's all going to come down to that showdown, isn't it? At the end of the season, the shootout, the showdown. Of course, we can't forget that podiums garnered here will also translate into extra points come those last few races of the season.
Exactly, that's what these races are all about right now, and Svidovic has just got 2 podiums tonight. I believe, did he get that in the end? Yeah, he did, didn't he? So, just lost the plot there for a moment.
He just barged through on Baker at the end.
So, again, that's another point that he's clocking up. So that's what matters right now. If he's got himself a nice little point advantage going into the final sort of shootout at the end there, all he's got to do is just race smart towards the end of the season.
That's it. If anybody watched Gladiators in the 90s, that's exactly what Wojciech Savidovic is going to do. He's getting enough points through these early rounds to gain as much of a head start as possible. Wins will count for a bit extra, of course, as well. But also, Alex, guys are looking for these victories to secure one of those 2 wildcard slots as well.
Yeah, exactly, and we haven't really seen anybody sort of step up and win a race outside of the top 10, have we, so far? So I don't think where Simon is right now as well. Simon just comes across a driver that's in the top 10. I'm trying to remember.
A quick look.
Yeah, if we got
there was 8
points
at the start of the meeting. Let's see if they have been changed. No change to the points just yet, so I can't really give that, but I think he will be up there after that win in race 2. Looking at the showdown before tonight, the only Sebastian Job was in a wildcard slot as well with 3 wins. Ben Palmer was on 1 win, and he was ahead of Pete Newman by virtue of just having more points. Tied on wins, it's the most points that actually gets into the showdown. So the only other race winner, Adekoba Lopez, but he's a long way down, as he's barely done any race at all. 44th in the series.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do a few more rounds than he was actually going to. I know he was always down as a reserve driver, but I just got the feeling he was at that first race. I thought actually he's going to turn up to a few more, but alas, he wasn't. He's not been able to, and he's not really in the fight for the championship now.
No, I mean there is a long way to go, so it's theoretically possible that someone could sort of. One of those drivers can come in and win a few races and make their way forward towards the showdown, but realistically, you're going to be looking at the likes of Ben Palmer and Russell Laidler and Orson and Smith, for those wildcard positions. Right then, Round 3 of the day. Andrew Whitehead is at the front of the field, ahead of Steve Walker, who joins him on front row. Jay Wright is in third, second high start for him, alongside Stefan Hoog, 2 teammates there. Alex Smolensky for Oven Gleam Racing, alongside Steve Hefford on row 3. Eckhart von Glan is on row 4 with Pete Newman. John Roberts and Richard Gore make up row 5. Gordon Wilson and Robert Plumley on row 6. And then it's Steve Richardson and Laura Bond behind them for Powermax Racing. Ashley Blake Hood, who was so strong in that first race, alongside Stanimir Zuzov, leading the incident count championship. Daniel Hunt in 17th, and then Sebastian Job 18th. Tim Mawson 19th, then with Ellis Stevens alongside him. Then it's Andreas Katz, that's his, where the reverse grid has put him 21st alongside Stephen Burke. Then it's David Baker, then Wojciech Savidovic, and then the race winner from last time, Simon Field, in 25th place. Stelian Cheplevsky 26th, Robert Graham 27th, 28th Scott Malcolm, his Laser Tools teammate. Then it's Jamie Rushworth in 29th. After that crash, he was barrel rolling down the pitch straight. Paul Smith in 30th, then Lee Thompson, who's had a shocking meeting so far. He'll be hoping for a good one here. Then Julian Janowski, Robert Fagg, Ben Palmer, Lee Berridge, Martin Brandon, John Bays, and Colin Steele 38th and last. Alex, it's still a big field. It's almost a full NASCAR-sized field here for Pocono. I reckon this one's going to be pretty exciting in the final race of the day.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of drivers are going to want to make their way up as well, and colder conditions once again. Lap times are some half a second a lap faster than what we saw in the last race as well. So, yeah, I dare say we'll see some more madness, 3 or 4 wides through some of these corners, especially in these early laps.
There is every chance of that happening, of course, as we come through the tunnel turn. Pace car leads them through. Now, Jay Wright will have learned his lesson, I think, from race 2, from the start, won't he?
Yeah. I certainly won't go running off in the distance again. Don't think he'll ever do that again. So, yeah, simple mistake, I guess. If you've not had the experience in it, and as we picked up on, there's drivers that hadn't done a single overall race before this one. So, you know,
ever, some of them, and but I think, you know what? I think this has been a successful oval meeting. I don't think we can, you know, have too many of them in the future, but. You know, maybe the leader's choice, of course, Alex. That could well and truly go to an oval track as well. As Andrew Whitehead is going to bring them through as the green flag flies here at Pocono. You imagine if the leader picked Bristol.
Oh God, yeah, good start there from Whitehead. He got on it pretty early, and it's sort of, I was going to say it's fanned the pack out a little bit, but actually it's an absolute cluster in there, in and around sort of 13th, 14th place. They are 3 wide already. Mawson out the wide of, I think that's Gordon Wilson. Steve Richards kicking around there as well. Richard, I think everyone survived. So yeah, good turn 1 there. Everybody, like you say, through there nicely.
I'm glad you only said cluster. I could tell you what you might have been thinking, but I'm glad it wasn't one of those. Jimmy Rosman's in the middle of all that. So down in 28th place, he's trying to make his way forward with Lee Thompson, actually Cheplevsky and Savidovic in there. So keep an eye on those guys. They're all fighting each other, Alex, for the positions at the back end of the 20s.
Yeah, crazy, and that just goes to show how big the reverse grid was. Actually, a few cars dropped off as well. I expected something. I guess at the start.
Hefford for the lead, Alex. We know how much pace he's got. I reckon if he gets into the lead, he might be able to run away with it.
Yeah, good move from Hefford. It definitely makes that one stick.
Oh, I heard some contact.
It's got Steve Walker behind him. That volatile element car is very fast as well tonight. We saw what Ashley Blake Hood was able to do with it.
Oh, there was contact actually. Robert Graham, it looks like he's out of it. And he has... Did he get a helping hand? Oh, yeah, he did. Got a helping hand from Ellis, I think. Yep, Ellis into the back of Robert Graham. Robert Graham into the outside wall in turn 1, Alex.
Bastian Job up into 3rd place, just puts a move on Andrew Whitehead.
Oh, big crash at the tunnel turn. Sorry, coming into turn 3, apologies, that was Zuzov, Blake Hood, and a couple of others as well. I didn't quite catch it. Maybe Plumley as well.
No caution as well. It looks like it might have all. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there actually. Just having a little look.
Here comes the big one. Here comes the big one. Mawson into the wall, and I thought, Palmer.
I'm gonna have to. We're still
Palmer's
watching the
come a
replay of the
cropper.
original one. Sorry, Andrew. Let's jump to Mawson. Like you say, he was involved in that one. See what happened there. The first one was just a case of a couple of cars coming together, going into 3, I think it was there. So
and Pete Newman's into the lead. Sorry, Alex. Carry on.
Yeah, no caution as well. So Mawson on the inside that was Mawson on the inside of Whitehead. There gets himself all out of shape, spits himself out to the outside wall there. Back onto the track. Worst camera angle to see it all, unfortunately. Let's take another little look.
Then poor old Ben Palmer came charging in. I'm guessing he was unsighted and just slams into the back of.
I see what happened now. Actually, Whitehead got himself perhaps a pretty poor line through one, got on the curb and all kinds of off pace through the middle of the corner. Yeah, and there was nothing Tim could do really. He just held his brakes, did what he needed to do, but unfortunately no one could avoid him, and he gets launched over the barrier.
Yeah, the car just wandered back into the middle of the track, didn't it? And it was always going to happen. Someone was always going to come a cropper. We're going to go Jamie Rushworth trying to make it 3 wide with Baker, and Daniel Hunt. Oh, it's very close in there. Very, very close indeed. In turn 3, Pete Newman lead. Oh, into the wall goes Von Glan. And you think he's got away with it.
Yeah, it looks
bit of
like
right side
okay
damage. And look at this, Savinovich, Baker. This is where all the champions are, Alex. Baker, Savinovich, Katz. Rushworth and Von Glan coming together. Teammates hitting each other.
Yeah, and that's
Jay Wright's off as well.
Hunt.
And Jay Wright hits Von Glan and goes off into Chepelevsky. Chepelevsky's out.
BRSTC once again absolutely smashing it for this last race.
They're just going for it, I think. Nothing to lose, it seems. You got about 70 races left, boys and girls.
Just have a look at that back again.
Steve Walker's in trouble.
Looked as if
Steve Walker hit the wall in turn 2, Alex. He creamed the outside wall. And he's having to pit for the fast toe.
Just going to jump to that as well. We were looking at that replay, just seeing that there. It's just almost impossible to keep up with everything that's going on out there right now. So, like you say, just ran it out wide and got some serious damage on that, but survives for the most part.
Bastian Job leads, Pete Newman in 2nd, then it's Steve Hefford in 3rd. Stefan Hoog up to 4th. In fact, he started 4th. He's got a bit of damage on that Oculus car as well. Ashley Blake Hood is in 5th, then it's 6th for. It was Richard Gore, but it's going to be under threat from Andreas Katz. Andreas Katz is going to go through into P6. Smolensky's up into. Well, he's actually slipped backwards to 8th. John Roberts in 9th, 10th for. I think it's Baker. I think it might actually be. Oh, and there's more contact somewhere as well. I can hear it. I think that's Roberts in the wall actually. Yeah, Roberts has hit the wall and got his teammate Savinovich for company now. It's all happening here in BRSTC Pro Series. Oh, and goodness me, Hoog chopped the nose off of. Hefford just chopped the nose off of Stefan Hoog nearly. And Pete Newman's going for the lead, Alex, coming into the main straight.
Yeah, who got tucked up in there as well? Is that Richard Gore? Is that back marker in there as well? See one of the Apex cars. That Lee Thompson in there as a back marker, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, just getting a little confused there with what was going on. So, yeah, Sebastian Job just got a little bit of a lead, 0.4 of a second, not enough to break away. Like you say, Pete Newman anytime soon is going to close back on him. Hefford in that Oculus car looking very, very quick. He wants to get a run on Newman this time.
Newman's going to use the slipstream from Sebastian.
Yep, Seb's having a little weave, trying to break that draft. He'll want to win. He's had a shocker of a race meeting so far today.
I was going to say not as shocking as Thompson, I don't think. Lee's had an awful race meeting. He started 6th in the championship, and he's not going to be 6th after this, I don't think. He'll still score some points, I think, though.
Once again, at the inside, Hefford. Newman's getting a little helping hand from Ashley Blake Hood. We know how quick Hood is as well. That first race, he was very, very strong. Oh! Gonna supply just about there. Yeah, Newman just about holds it from the wall there.
Oh, this isn't going to be held from anything. Hefford, Katz, and Blake Hood off into the wall. And there's cars coming round the corner. Oh, that's Mawson, I think. Is it? No, it might have been.
That's Svidovic as well. Svidovic got caught up in that.
Svidovic out. Safety car drivers on holiday. We're not going to have one. All hell breaking loose here.
Take a little look at that back on replay as well.
Questionable driving there, I think.
Where did that all start off?
I have no idea.
This already happened.
It was
there,
bad.
so.
It was already going. Let's just have a quick look. A look back. What was it? Ah, it's like Hefford's just chopped Blake Hood. I think. Yeah, he's just moved across him. I think he thought he was clear. Just drifting up the track. Right. Bang into Blake Hood. Nothing Blake Hood can actually do.
No,
He's the one who gets launched over the catch fence.
Yeah, just watch that back there as well. And of course,
it was Gore. Was it Gore that got
caught his teammate there as well. So yeah, they're not good for Oculus at all.
Yep. And well, Oculus have also had a bit of nonsense because oh no, that wasn't them, was it? That was Powermax, Rushworth, and Von Glan hitting each other. So not a good day to have any teammates at all.
Mawson had nowhere to go. Really, just ran into the back of.
That means that
of Hefford there.
That means that Sebastian Job leads by 1.2 seconds. Pete Newman, then Andreas Katz, and then there's a bit of a gap to David Baker. But Baker's under a lot of pressure from Field and Smolenski, a couple of race winners there. Another race winner as well, Steve Richardson in 7th place.
Actually, a good little battle as well. Gordon
Can hear
Wilson
more contact as well.
and John Roberts here. Actually, John's car looks a little worse for wear, and that makes the move pretty easy for Wilson. Wilson passed there as well.
Yeah,
Daniel Hunt, Jamie
John's
Rushworth.
been in the wall, Alex, I think, at some point.
Yeah, Hunt and Rushworth, they're fighting for 13th and 14th. They've got Scott Malcolm just ahead. Side by side, Hunt and Rushworth. Hunt's on the inside. He's going to want to get this move done into turn 1. Amy just falling back, hasn't quite got the straight on speed. Jamie was caught up in an earlier incident as well. Looked like he's managed to survive with his car intact. There's a big pack further back as well. Let's have a quick look at that. Janowski's right in the middle of that. Lee Berridge, John Baines as well. They're 6 cars there, pretty close, and got one guy almost up in the wall there. One of the Carnage cars.
I've got to say as well. Oh, off goes Blake Hood, and he's gone. That's the end of him, I think. Oh no, it's not. He manages to save it. I was just going to say, just ahead of this battle, I must mention it because he wants to us to pay him some attention on the broadcast, so I will do. Martin Brandon, brilliant 15th place from 36th on the grid. That is outstanding.
Let's just jump to him as we just saw on a screen for a split second there. Pete Newman and Andreas Katz exchanging position out there, but yeah, just on Martin Brandon there, drifting
hit the wall,
particularly close to the wall there, so he won't appreciate us jumping to him.
I hope he's not
particular time.
I hope he didn't do that because he's listening to us. If you're listening to us, stop it. Put that cookie down and get on with it. As Stanimir Zuzov limping around as well. His incident point total is taking a hammering today. Absolutely hammering.
It looks like we might have lost Janowski into the pits as well.
Yep.
Berridge is dropping down as well. That was that massive pack that we were keeping an eye on.
Oh, Newman's off the track.
Early on.
Newman's off the track onto the grass. And he's going to lose out to Baker and Field. So what happened to Pete Newman there? He's been in the fence. He's been in the fence, I think. Courtesy of Andreas Katz, who just ushered him out there. Have a bit of that sunshine. Into the fence goes Newman, and offensive driving by Katz there. Aggressive stuff.
Yeah, and that's going to be some serious damage to the right-hand side of Newman's car and bouncing over the grass to get it back. But yeah, I can't see him recovering too well from that.
Baker's ahead of Field, and then there's Smolenski. Just ahead of Richardson, actually. Richardson having a good race. Bond as well having a good race in 7th position. So power maxed again, you know. They've got a solid.
Yep.
In fact, Stevens in 9th, and he looks like he's going to make a move on Wilson. But they're having a good race, power maxed. Rushworth's 14th as well, and slowly making his way up towards Daniel Hunt. So, you know, power max could in theory have 4 cars in the top 10 by the end of this.
Yeah, the car's been very, very strong all race meet, and we saw that with Jamie's qualifying time, so it doesn't surprise me to see him up there. They've just perhaps not had the luck in the previous races, so yeah, this time seems like they've...
Field on Baker for P3 on the racetrack. And Field using that high line to good effect there. Baker's got the shorter route. Field can wind up the car and get more momentum. I'm impressed with the racing, Alex. The actual quality of it on this Pocono circuit. I don't think I was expecting this. The track's really playing well, isn't it?
Yeah, actually it's worked perfectly for this car, to say, and sorry about that, just jumped forward as we were still just doing a bit of a recap. But yeah, I was wondering what you were talking about for a second with Field and Baker. So many replays, I caught myself out with where we are. It's crazy.
One of those ones.
So. But yeah, once again, Field on Baker, pushing him down the straight. I think he wants to try and close up to the back.
Look, the lead. Sorry, Katz is into the lead. So he's caught Sebastian, and he's passed him, and Job's fighting back. You know what? Katz has been running brilliant lap times, 59.1s. For Sebastian, mid 59, so Katz is 4/10 of a second quicker, Alex, in clear air.
Yeah, very, very quick.
Over and over again as well.
I just don't think it's going to matter now that they're both in each other's draft. They're just going to carry on battling. 2.9 seconds, Field and Baker are trying to work together to close this gap, but actually they're just costing each other time compared to these two. So
4/10 is a lot, though.
Let's have a look, though. This is what this time by they both do, because they've had exchanged positions a couple of times here. 59.9 for both of them. Baker and Field do 59
at the back.
59.2.
Contacts at the back. John Roberts and Steve Hefford making contact. Don't know why Hefford's making contact with cars on the lead lap, mind you.
See if I can find that. Bring that back up.
A little bit of issue there. I think they both survived it.
Steve Hefford, where are you? There we go. Did Steve make the contact there? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I wasn't looking.
No, just looking. It looked like more. We were on board with him for a second there, and it actually more looked like he was hit rather than the other way around.
That's fine. It was just a general statement, really.
Katz up the inside
Katz
of
and Job have been side by side. They've been side by side for 2 laps. I think it's going well here.
There's 5 laps to go. They're losing 0.7 of a second. It's fair to say Baker and Field are going to catch them by the end of this race if they carry on as they are.
These two need to work together if they want to win the race. Otherwise, they're going to be easy pickings. And Ben Palmer, look, you see, that's an illustration, isn't it? Palmer's a couple of laps down, I think. Sorry, just 1 lap down with a damaged car, and he's right there with them.
Yeah, it's 0.7 of a second again. They were
now
1
you
minute
see it
that time. Yeah,
now
Sebastian
working
perhaps
together.
Yeah, Sebastian perhaps caught on what was going on. He just needs to play it right. I think both drivers realise that they can overtake each other at a whim, so might just be wise for Sebastian just to sort of play the cards right here and just push Katz on and maybe do it on the last lap if he's going to do anything. He's got a lot of experience with this kind of racing as Sebastian, not the oval, but working with the draft. Does a lot of racing in Skip Barber, and that's very draft dependent car, and you know, we've seen him time and time again just be very, very patient in in the series he does in the Skippy, and it looks like he's doing exactly the same thing this lap. That last lap picked up the pace a little bit. The gap is still down to a second though. They've got 3 laps to go. They're going to have a good couple of laps now, otherwise on that last lap Baker and Field are going to have a little shot at trying to get these guys.
Katz again exiting the corner quite low. I don't know if he's getting the full potential out of this Kia Optima, but we shall see really, because can he stay in front of Sebastian Job? It's going to be
Baker
very
and
difficult.
Field. Oh, there's something going off ahead of them as well. Baker and Field, I'm sure, will want Palmer out of the way right now, so getting a little bit of draft.
Been off. No, it wasn't Janowski. Oh, who that was? It all disappeared by the time I saw it, Alex. I couldn't finally figure out who that was. But we've got 2 laps to go.
For the front runners this time as well. So once
Baker
again,
and Field are going to be there, aren't they?
yeah, 59.3. Actually, they're using Palmer well, so they're pushing each other up to him right now. It's all about this tandem drafting right now. Sebastian, I thought, was going to have a little look. He's not. They need to. Baker's going to try and work his way through past Palmer now.
Would
so
you go
they are
for
going to have 1 lap to do it. I don't think.
Would you go for it on the last lap or this one?
I think you got to go for it on the last lap. I think
Last
if they
corner?
go for it now, then there's too much of an opportunity for Baker and Field to catch up. They're in the draft right now. They're half a second. They are going to be absolutely there on the last lap as well.
Andreas Katz then, reigning series champion, turns it into turn 3 then for the penultimate time, drifting wide though, almost up into the wall. Quite a high line there. But look, David Baker's there as well, another former champion, Simon Field. He just won race 2, so he knows exactly what he's doing on this Pocono circuit.
Yeah, we know how quick that Pete Newman Media car is as well. There's 0.2 of a second separating them, so it looks like Katz is actually a little bit slower in a straight line than what Baker and Field are as well.
Now goes Sebastian Job. He knows he needs to go for it now. Down the inside, into the tunnel turn. What's he going to do? What sort of line is he going to take? Baker's going to get second place. He might even get more than that. Job's twitching around. Baker took the air off his rear wheels, and it's already a light car at the rear end, Alex. You don't want that to be happening to you. Not through a turn as fast as that. Into the final corner.
Yeah, Sebastian has to go very, very defensive.
And now he's going to hit Katz because Baker's shoved him wide. And Field's coming. What's going to happen? Who's going to take the victory? It's going to be Andreas Katz, I think. It's going to be very close. And it's Katz.
Yeah, Katz from Jobs, from Baker, from Field. Great racing from those guys out there. Sebastian had to go very defensive, but Baker had the run in the end. That let Katz back in as well. Just couldn't cover off that Pocono circuit, far too wide to cover that. And Rushworth was side by side with Scott Malcolm as they crossed the line as well. There's a few other little battles going on as well. Robert Graham gets out of shape coming out of the last corner, I think, and sorry, that's going into the last corner. He's fighting with Steve Walker. Richard Gore is there as well.
Look. Oh yeah, it was coming out of turn 2, wasn't it? He nearly lost the place to Von Glan, but not quite. So, Andreas Katz was saying that he was very marginal on fuel at the end, Alex, and actually he said that the pushing from Seb was what actually got him to the end of the race.
Well, there you go.
And in front, actually, by two 100ths of a second.
Yeah, great racing there, and yeah, Seb needed that really. Not so much necessarily a win, but good solid points as well. He had a shocker in that first race as well, so picked up a reasonable result in the second round and a podium there. So yeah, all good. He'll be happy with that. Katz will be delighted as well. Svidovic obviously down in 17th place, managed to get back out of the pits, but there was so many crashes going on there. He was able to get himself back up to 17th after being in all kinds of trouble earlier on.
Yeah, that was a tremendous race. Really, really good performance from Andreas Katz to stay in front. It was the way he caught him, wasn't it, Alex? The speed that he caught up to Sebastian Job was the key thing for him.
Yeah, absolutely. They were I mean, they were very quick. I think Katz perhaps has a little bit more downforce. That's why he struggled to get past what we saw earlier on with the pack. But he was able to use the draft, use the extra downforce that he had with maybe extra click of rear wing or something like that there. I'm just assuming here. But yeah, though once he was in front and Sebastian was pushing him, then of course Baker and Field were able to come at them very, very quickly as well, just because it was Katz at the front. So had it been the other way around, I don't even think so. Seb up front with Katz pushing, I don't think Baker or Field would have got even close. So good race all round though. So just 0.3 of a second separating the top four is great to see.
So just looking back. On an incident that happened sort of late on in the race. Interested to see. In fact, actually, Paul Martin Brandon, we were on about him he was in 15th place. He was on his own, very wide into turn 2, hits the wall, hits the fence, and gets embedded in it, so he can't even drive it back to the pits. I think he has to tow it back.
Yeah, finishes 33rd in the end.
Then there's something with Robert Fagg and Chepelevsky. I wonder actually, Alex, if that's what that's the incident that we saw.
If we can...
when we saw smoke and we didn't know where it had come from.
I can't see any events to jump back to and look at
it
that,
doesn't. Oh, lap 17. Let's have a look. 17 was 1 minute 13 seconds. Let's see. Robert Fagg, and then it's Chepelevsky, Brandon.
Actually, no, he's going off right this second. Actually, Robert. So let's just take a quick jump that back a little bit further.
It looks like Chepelevsky and Brandon got together, and then it was then Fagg comes through with actually Steve Burke.
Yep. Just a case of those guys checking up whoever. I think Steve Burke got disqualified there and then as well, didn't he? So
but that was the smoke that we saw the leaders pass, but we didn't see any cars. Couldn't figure out who it was. And that's when I think Brandon had damage, and then he hits the wall potentially after that. So, yeah, all a bit of a mess was that.
Shall we see if we can grab hold of Katz for a quick word? If he's on the server, I'm trying to see if he is. I don't see him actually.
If we can get him.
Yeah, I don't see him on there actually.
I think we've got time to speak to one person. Or who we want to
Let's have a chat with Ashley Blake Hood. Actually, he had a pretty reasonable meeting. Got obviously wrecked out in that last race.
The last race wasn't very good for him,
but his car was quick. He might want to have a little word. Obviously, a reserve driver, so he's not always in and around for a little chat.
It's good to have him back in the series as well.
See if we can have a little word.
Ashley Blake Hood joins us now. Ashley, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Hello, mate. Good to have you back in the series. Good to have a couple of races going well. The last one not so much. Take us through your meeting. It was quite eventful.
Well, during the week I spent a lot of time making a setup for this meeting, and me and Ash Sutton worked on something that should not have worked on that Kia under any circumstance, but it bloody well did. And that car was running absolutely sweet as a nut, and I'm an oval specialist, that's what I do. Road I enjoy, but ovals I am good at. And running that setup around the outside of everyone, just so much fun. Shame the race 3 ended like it did. I probably could have won that, but you've got to expect things like that when people aren't that experienced on ovals.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying on the broadcast that there was a lot of good quality racing going on, but it's just a little mistake, isn't it? It's the sort of track as well, Ash. When you're running tight packs like that, one little mistake that can be the end of you.
But the thing is, the way those cars needed to be set up to go fast around there, they were so loose when you got on any sort of braking pressure. And people were braking into the corners, people weren't, they were just lifting off and coasting. And the styles people were taking just made it so difficult to judge what other people were doing, and the cars were so loose, and it's fun, but it's going to take a lot more practice for people to get good at that, I think.
I suppose that's the beauty of it though, isn't it? I suppose lots of different styles, lots of different ways of attacking the course. The first race was probably definitely your best one out of the three. Looked like a good scrap up there with the front runners.
Yeah, I mean, the race 1 and 2, they were equally as fun. But actually, race 3 was equally as fun too. I'm not scoring any points for my team, so I just went out there to have a laugh. And I started, 3rd, and then 20th, and then 15th, or something like that. And just, the whole meeting was good fun. It's a shame it ended like it did, like I say, but all of my races were good for me from a personal standpoint. I've never had so much fun. I was in Mumble, and I just couldn't stop laughing I was enjoying myself so much.
What happened with that last race then? Or what was the reason that you ended up only completing 10 laps?
Well, I was battling in the top 3, and I'd gone round turn 2, and I'd got on the outside of Steve Hefford, and I know that my car will stick on the outside of turn 3. So I've gone to his outside, and I think he's gone to set himself up for the corner, and I've just done the clipping of the rear quarter panel and turned him, and it's just all gone wrong. I've kept a straight line. I think he's just thought he was clear and come up.
That's what it looked like to me. And you had nowhere to go. To be fair, once you hit the brakes, and then there's not a lot you can really do, is it, in that situation?
No, I saw him coming, and in all fairness, I probably could have backed out of it and let him come up in front of me because it was lap 8 of 20. But at that point, I just thought about going on the outside. I'm not going to place any blame on him. I don't know how much oval experience he's got, and for all I know, his spotter didn't even call it. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah. What's like you mentioned, part-time driver this season only. What's the next meeting for yourself?
I think I'm doing the next 3. Dave Baker has got commitments elsewhere, which means he needs a fill-in, and I think I'm doing the next 3 meetings. I'm not entirely sure because his schedule's a bit all over the place, but I think I'll be good for the next 3 meetings.
So next week is Charlotte Road, and then it's VIR, and then it's Okayama. So any tracks that stand out there for you in terms of ones you like or ones you're good at?
I got my first win in the series at Okayama last season, so that should be fun for me. I love VIR, it's one of the most beautiful tracks in all of racing, and I had a cracking meeting at Charlotte Road last time out, so I'm looking forward to all 3.
Simple as that, Alex, eh? Likes everything.
Yeah, exactly. Well, good luck in those races, and certainly got different taste in tracks to me.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Ash.
I see Andres has joined the server. Shall I see if we can have a quick word with him?
Yeah, got enough time, I think.
Hello?
Andres, sorry.
What were you doing then?
Yeah, no, I was waiting for you. Congratulations, and great race there, and looked very, very touch and go on that last lap, whether or not you're going to be able to hold on to it. Field and Baker hunting you down for those last 5 laps, but you managed to hold on and retake the lead around the outside in the final corner, get that run to the start-finish line, and another win, and a great boatload of points that you caught up on Svidovic as well.
Yes, that was my target, because Wojciech, he's very, very, very fast, and he showed it today again. And in the last race, if he did not have to done bump draft, or how you call it, I would not have enough fuel left for the race, so I was very lucky that we did it like this. Very exciting.
So the first race, great battle for the lead there. You were using quite a low line. Was that something that was working better with the hotter conditions?
Yes, I was on -2. I knew that the other one, like Jamie, he was on -3. At least it felt like this. And I could take the inner line. And so, it worked better, at least in the first race. But it cost me tires a lot. So at the end, I lost a lot then also.
Yeah, we thought, didn't we, Alex? It might have been a bit of a tire killer, that.
That it made me take more fuel at the second and the last race. And in the last race, I won.
So the last race, I heard you mention something. Did you mention something about not having enough fuel?
Yes, it was strange. I took more fuel, but I needed more fuel, and if we did not have a little push and bump draft, it would not have finished.
You won by 2/100ths of a second. Is that your closest win in this series?
In this series, yes.
Are you looking forward to the next 3 weeks? Then we've got Charlotte Road, VIR, and Okayama. Any tracks there that stand out to you?
Yeah, since I started to do training again, I'm every week looking forward to do the race. Yes, and I think I will do good.
Well, Charlotte Road's quite a fun track, Alex, isn't it? It's a bit of a mixture of an oval and the road course there as well. Be quite a good meeting next week.
Yeah, I think it'd be similar to this in many senses with that long oval section, but obviously the tricky infield. And yeah, I remember the last race we had there. I'm pretty sure you were involved in that, Andreas, as well. A lot of carnage in turn one, if I remember rightly.
Yes, I'm looking forward for this, but not in a good manner. And I think we will get many slowdowns in the infield.
Yeah, I think that's always a problem there, actually, isn't it? The tracks sort of marked out, and the track limits are pretty tricky to judge. Well, congratulations again, Andreas. A good meeting for you again, and we wish you luck next week, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you then.
Okay, thank you. Great job, guys. See you.
Thanks, mate. Well done.
Did you just want to have a quick word with Jamie so we can speak to all of the race fixtures tonight?
Yeah, fine.
We're joined by Jamie Rushworth. Jamie, well, that Power Max car looked very fast today. You proved that with pole position, only driver in that session into the 59s. Had a good race to start off with there, and then it just looked like they started scrapping behind, and you just left them all for dead.
Yeah. Spent some time in the setup and got Ellis third as well. That was awesome. And Laura into the top 15 shootout for quali. And yeah, we were just scrapping the whole race and got ahead, pulled away.
So, I mean, your car was very quick. Like I say, we saw that in, I think it was the third race. It looked like you were going to get quite a few cars into the top 10. In fact, you did, looking at the final results as well. So 3 cars, you just missed out yourself in that one. What's the key to making the car work around a place like Pocono?
Well, I've had a little bit of experience in oval racing in Indy cars, and the B car on Wednesdays, so it's just a case of just getting all the cambers right. So you want the left side as low as possible and the right side as high as possible. Run a low wing, keep the wheels straight as far as toe goes, and pump lots of pressure in the tyres.
Yeah, pretty much I think the same as what I suggested to the guys as well. So there's a few guys out there that sort of seem to work on the setups around here, and I mean, obviously you'll know probably better than I, having not actually run the car. So what sort of time difference were you looking for those sort of road races that sort of set it up as a normal sort of road track compared to what you would do with the ovals? How much sort of time was involved there?
As in, how long did you spend?
No, sorry. How much time did you find on the racetrack? Sorry.
Oh, yeah. It's only a matter of a few tenths on an oval, but on an oval that is equivalent to like a second, I guess, on a road course. It's very important on an oval to get a good setup, because every little tiny bit really helps. But then again, once we got racing, the draft is a massive equalizer.
Yep.
And it didn't make a huge difference by the time we got going.
Yeah, it seems to be that you just needed a little sniff of clear air, and you were able to, like you say, you're able to run away at the front there. So yeah, maybe a bit of an eye opener for all of those sort of road racer specialists out there, that they need to employ an oval driver to set their cars up for future races.
Yeah, although that's all the ovals out the way for this season. But if we ever return, yeah.
Well,
I think
was it
it
good
went
fun
well.
though? That's the bottom line.
Yeah,
was
exactly.
it good?
It was brilliant. And we're all talking during the race that we can't wait to watch the race afterwards on the broadcast. It was cars like 4 or 5 wide in front of me at times. It was just madness. It was great.
Hopefully we've gone and done some of that justice. But well done again, Jamie. Thanks for joining us again. And see you next week at Charlotte Road Course.
Yes, that'll be good. Cheers, guys.
Always is. Well done.
Cheers, mate. See you then.
Right then, mate. We can catch our breath a little bit. That was a really fun night of racing.
Yeah, great night actually. I mean, yeah, there was our usual incidents and things like that in the end there, but I'm just not going to look at that, to be honest. The racing actually at the front throughout the pack, that first race was epic, and the second and third race battles. And the way drivers were working together, and they were not even in the same teams as well, pushing each other along there. So Sebastian and Katz trying to keep away from Baker and Field, those two, all just working well. And great job from the Power Max cars in that last one, 6th, 7th, and 8th for Steve, Laura, and Ellis. So great performance. That should help rocket them back up in the team championships. They've struggled a little bit.
What did Jamie get up to in that last
12th in the end, I think it was. Yeah.
He was the fourth. He was the last Power Max car that counted for the points, and he was 12th.
So they're going to got
very,
a
very
lot.
Good.
Yeah, going to got a lot of points there. So it was great to see people like Laser Tools cars up there as well. They'd obviously had a good set underneath them. Gordon was floating around that sort of area all race long, qualified well for the first race as well. So one thing about the ovals definitely spices it up, and you can see other drivers have got a chance at potentially a good race win, or a good race result at least. So yeah, definitely want to see another one of these back on the schedule future seasons. Maybe even add a second one.
I'm going to lobby for Martinsville.
Oh God,
that would be brilliant in these cars. I think that's what we need. Alex, been a pleasure as usual, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much, Andrew, for joining me once again. All the YouTube followers and watchers, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share, all that goodness for us. We'll be back next week for what is around, I want to say 19, is it?
19, 20 and 21 at Charlotte Road. Adam should be back for that one. I won't be here, but Adam should be.
Yep. Thanks, buddy.
We're ready for that.
See you, everybody, then. This has been BRSTC Pro Series on BSR TV. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll see you then.